Hey my friends, and welcome to today's video, and this is the moment that many of us have been waiting for, and that's the Zwift Racing League. So the previous season was my first time participating in it, and it was a huge eye-opener for me. I was barely a year into the sport and every stage felt like I was hanging on for my dear life. I've been working on my weaknesses over the past few months, and I hope I will be better prepared this time around. And in today's video, I'm gonna go through what exactly is the Zwift Racing League and my experience participating in it. The Zwift Racing League is coordinated by the World Tactical Racing League in partnership with Zwift. It's one of the biggest cycling events on Zwift, and it draws thousands of racing enthusiasts from around the world every season. And each season starts in September and it goes all the way to March and sometimes April. The season comprises of 3 rounds, and each rounds are 6 weeks long with a stage once a week. So basically you race once a week. Each stage can last for anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, and it's held on familiar maps that we ride on every time we log into Zwift. Pretty straightforward stuff so far. However, the format for some of these races could be quite different in the Zwift Racing League. So what I experienced in the previous season was either a team time trial or a points race. However, looking at the latest schedule, it seems that they have added the scratch race into the equation. So if you don't already know, there's a variety of race formats for each of these stages. In a scratch race, everyone starts and the only objective is to finish in the highest position you possibly can. Points will be given to riders based on their finishing position. These points are also called FIN in short, and this is one of the ways you can earn points for the team you're riding for. The higher you finish, the more points you'll earn for your team, and these accumulated points determine whether your team will be promoted, remain, or be relegated to a lower division. So we'll talk more about teams later. Then you have the points race, and here's where the fun and the pain begins. There's more at stake with a points race. On top of the finishing points that riders will be receiving, there are points to be earned in the segments on these stages. So if you have raced on Zwift before, you will notice some of these arches just hanging around in the world. You get a power up when you go past it, and that's that. In the points race, however, this is where the battles are fought. These arches represent the end of a segment, and in the points race, points are awarded to the fastest riders in these segments. There are 2 types of points you can earn in the points race. In every race, points are awarded to the top 10 fastest timing in these segments, also known as the fastest through segment, or FTS in short. As you might have thought, in a multiple laps race, a single rider can be awarded multiple FTS points as long as his or her timings are in the top 10 in that race. So for example, if you are doing 4 laps of Innsbruck and you have 4 top 10 timings in a segment, you will be awarded the points accordingly. So that's a lucrative business right there. However, it's also super competitive because there are only 10 spots up for grabs per race, and you'll be competing with some of the hardest hitters in the race. In category B, it's not uncommon to be competing with heavier riders who can do 1,000+ watts for anywhere between 15 to 20 seconds. Next, we have the first across the line, or FAL points, to be fought for. These points are awarded to the riders who cross the line first. So unlike the FTS, you have a chance to score points every time you pass through a segment. As long as you're in the top 10 to pass through the segment, you'll be awarded accordingly. And in some ways, it's easier to earn FAL than the FTS. So you can launch your attack early to avoid going head-on with the sprinters. And if you don't get it, you can try again the next lap. You can also assess the situation and give up or attack a segment. So as you can already tell, this makes the points race super attritional, and in my opinion, it's what makes the Zwift Racing League super fun as well. So this is not unique to the Zwift Racing League, but it's a huge part of it. There's always 2 team time trial stages in every round, and each team can have up to 6 riders, and the 4th rider's timing will be registered as the finish time. So the team time trial calls for teamwork and a lot of communication. It's not unusual for teams to start with 6 riders and end with 4. So these 2 riders could have done a suicide pool, allowing the other riders to recover in their draft. The team time trial could be torturous, especially when there are only 4 riders to begin with. So the recovery time is shorter and the pools can be longer depending on the state of your teammates. So personally, I love the Zwift Racing League. The intensity is off the charts, especially with the points race, and I enjoy riding with the best Category B has to offer. So whether they are Cat A's hiding in B's or they are cheating, I don't really care. There are really strong riders out there, and it shows that it's achievable with training, and I want to be like them someday. Anyway, I have fond memories of the previous one, and here are my top 5 favorite moments. So I knew Ash was a time trialist and with a really impressive threshold power, but it wasn't until Champs-Élysées when I saw what a diesel monster he was. This was the first round of 22-23 in the Atlantic Sea time zone. 6 laps of the Champs-Élysées, and I was struggling to get any points at all. So after 2 uneventful laps, Ash decided to play to his strengths. He broke away from the group to get the FAL points in the 3rd lap and maintained 10 seconds gap in the 4th and 5th as well. So the group only caught him in the last lap, but the damage was already done. So I think he's got like 80 plus points in that one race, and it remained one of the most epic efforts I've seen in a race. Attacks usually happen in segments or climbs, and hence the arcade caught me off guard completely. I already know that attacks might happen in the arcade, but I didn't thought that they could actually pull this off. So I saw the attack but chose the safety of the bigger group, and I saw the group stretched, but I thought that the smaller group wouldn't be able to sustain the breakaway for long. How wrong was I? So the attack created a breakaway group of 10 to 12 riders, and they took all the points in the final lap. Some of us decided to chase, but that breakaway group were relentless, and it wasn't like we weren't trying. The rest of us were still pushing hard to close the gap, but it just wasn't enough. And the attack in the arcade remains a thing of a beauty, and I hope I have the legs to put myself in that position in the future. I guess we all love a breakaway, and the showdown between Kitty and Rain both was something that stuck with me. Basically, Kitty he broke away during the Innsbruck stage, and Rain both decided to chase. This was mind-blowing because apart from the leg snapper, Innsbruck is a pretty flat course. Breaking away here is gonna hurt, and the distance created can be easily nullified by the leg snapper. But nonetheless, they both made it and scored huge FAL points for their teams. Rainbow even took points in the segment after the snapper, so it's a high risk, high reward situation, and hats off to both of the riders. Again, I didn't manage to do anything here apart from participating and not getting dropped. I was being conservative with the breakaway brace segment because I didn't want to be dropped. I was always the 20 plus rider to pass through this segment, and I knew that if I remained passive, this would most likely be my position that day. So I decided to give everything I've got to that last one. I set a 30 and 60 seconds PR in this race, and I thought it was really something to look back on. I didn't make a video out of it because I was feeling a bit embarrassed. So however, this made my top 5 because it was my highest finish in the league. I was struggling to get any points at all for my team all season long. A few points here and there, and that's all I could manage, especially when I switched over to the Atlantic E time zone, where the field is more stacked with 3 divisions. So when the top teams in my division went to compete in the finals with other top teams from other time zones, I got more points that I could ever ask for. There were always gonna be lots of points up for grabs doing 10 laps of the Glasgow Crit circuit. So lap after lap, I was just getting showered with points. I was getting points even when I wasn't even trying. I ended up with 100 plus points for my team, but it all counted for nothing because we were disqualified for not having enough participating riders. The new season starts on the 12th of September, so I've been putting in the work and I can't wait to compete with the best again. So if you're like me and you're itching for some Zwift Racing League action, you have got to join a team. So if you need a team, you can join me at the Coalition. The Coalition is a super friendly e-racing community, and here you will find yourself racing and riding with like-minded riders from all around the world. you can hop on to the site, link in the description below, and the joining process is super easy. Once you're done with the sign up process, the guys will get you settled into the Discord server, and the team captain will reach out to you to get you settled into a team for the new season. It's that easy. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. And till then, see you out.